Digital transformation has many different aspects, has many fields of action. Together with Maximilian Röcklinger from University of Bayreuth and Fraunhofer FIT, we studied the different fields of action of digital transformation. And there are two versions how you can read about this. One is the more practice-oriented presentation we published in 2015. You see the cover page on the left-hand side of the slide. The other is the updated and extended, more science-oriented presentation we published 2018. And in that we identified 6 fields of action across companies, across different industries, across geographies. These 6 fields of action are customer, value proposition, data, organization, operations, and transformation management. Obviously, these are very broad terms, and one needs to get more detail to really understand what's in digital transformation. And for doing that, I would like to relate the more detailed points in these 6 fields of action to this layered model of a corporate architecture. Let's start at the top with the customers. The key things we see across different companies, industries, and so on related to the customers are generating customer insights, designing customer experience, and enabling omni-channel interaction. Generating customer insights means that with more and more digital interaction via things like web pages and apps, but also via Internet of Things devices operated by your customers, potentially by B2B customers in an industrial setting. You get more and more data on the customers. Obviously, data privacy is important here, but with this data and with the consent of your customer, you can get new insights on the real needs and real usage behaviors of your customers and thereby improve your products and services. Designing customer experiences is the idea that in many industries, the physical product or the pure service is rather a commodity. It doesn't differentiate much between different companies. But then it's the experience, it's the emotions, it's the effective reactions we have when we interact with companies, products and services, which are memorable and which for a large part of products and services makes the difference between a premium product and a premium willingness to pay by the customers on ordinary product or service. And enabling omni-channel interaction means that there are hardly any companies with which we only have a single channel how we operate. We call them via phone, we use an app or 2 or 3 apps by the company, we go to the webpage, potentially we go to a store, we might have a physical product for them or so on. So many different channels, and companies need to see that they orchestrate the experiences and the information across these different channels. Moving one level down to the business models. The things we see which companies work on in times of digital transformation is offering smart products and services. So using Internet of Things capabilities to equip physical products with computing power and with connectivity and having smart connected products. And offering smart services based on data analytics and artificial intelligence. The next point there is establishing data-driven business models. Really using data, which is often termed the oil of the 21st century. Although oil is in a rather raw state, it's greasy, it's not directly usable. You need to refine it and use it. But when you do that cleverly, you can establish data-driven business models, new business models. And then acting in ecosystems and value networks. Remember these small dashed wings on the side of the model. A company isn't a silo in isolation, it works in ecosystems and in value networks. And cleverly playing that, focusing on your core competencies and having clever alliances with others is a value driver for many business models in the digital age. One level further down, on the business processes. The 3 big levers we see there which companies are working on are to improve processes continuously, obviously using digital technologies and media to improve them, but also to rethink processes radically. You shouldn't only digitize your old process, you should think about how can a good new process look like now that we have all these new technologies and media. And then on the business process layer, finally, enabling ambidexterity. Ambidexterity comes from the Latin word. It basically means being able to do 2 things equally well. Here it's being equally well in the steady operational processes where you need to be very lean, very efficient, very standardized, very high quality, and at the same time being able to innovate, being quick in innovation, having a tolerance for failure there, trying out new things, getting feedback, and integrating the feedback in your offering. And managing both things at the same time is very difficult because it requires a different mindset, different processes, and so on. Moving a level further down and to the right-hand side to the application systems, the big fields of action we see there is integrating heterogeneous systems. In many companies you have dozens, hundreds, potentially 1,000 different application systems, and they are not properly interlinked. But then for information to flow easily along processes to deliver value to the customers, you need to interlink these different heterogeneous systems. If you think about the interface between application systems and either your employees or your customers, then it's about realizing a high usability and about designing the workplace of the future for new digital work by your employees or by potential freelancers, consultants, crowd workers, and so on, you for some time integrate in your organization. Looking more at the persons, the employees, there's the big action fields are enabling flexible cooperation between these employees. You need that because you're in this VUCA world, the volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world with a high pace of change. And there you don't need strict hierarchical organizations with different departments not interacting with each other, but you need the ability to flexibly generate cooperation in ad hoc teams to have support for agile processes and so on. So that's enabling flexible cooperation. Then it's about developing digital competencies. All the digital technologies, media, and our abilities to use them develop very quickly over time. Quicker than most of your employees develop new competencies. So that's why you need to support them with training and hands-on experience for them to being able to use all these new opportunities. And collectively, many companies work on establishing a digital culture, so a new culture for supporting these new business models in the digital age. If we move one level down to the data and information layer, then it's about linking heterogeneous data, like we had on top of that with the application systems where we integrated heterogeneous systems. You have many different pools of data in the companies, and linking these together enables you to get more value out of the data. Besides that, you need to manage data privacy and security. I already mentioned data privacy in relation to customer data, but it can also be data of your employees or other persons, which you need to handle with care. And then finally, on the data level, it's about exploiting the data systematically. So really seeing which value is in the data, which knowledge can you get from the data, how can you use the data for the data-driven business models, which I mentioned on the business model layer. Finally, moving to the infrastructure layer, it's about realizing standardized interfaces between different components. That relates to linking heterogeneous data and integrating heterogeneous systems, which we had on the data and information and application systems layer. It's about ensuring scalability and integrating information and production technology. The last part, this integration of information and production technology, is especially true for companies with physical machinery in their production sites. And finally, all this is tied together by management. You need to regularly update your digital strategy to take advantage of new technological developments, new work routines, to comply with new customer requirements, and to adapt to market changes. You need to allocate responsibility for digital transformation, because all this which I just described to you doesn't happen by chance and it doesn't happen automatically, but you need active digital management, and for that you need responsibility for this digital transformation. And finally, you need to actively manage the change and the value contribution and really measure whether you're making progress in the right direction. So all of this in totality describes much of what we see in different companies across different industries under the term digital transformation.